Boop, 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 biddly beep 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 biddly beep beep biddly doo 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 biddly beep beep biddly beep beep biddly beep biddly beep biddly beep beep biddly beep biddly beep biddly beep 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 Welcome to Monday. What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Monday. You guys, I feel like I've got a case of the Mondays. Seems like somebody would get hit over the head for having a case of Mondays at my work. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Let me check in with the early chat. I just ate a piece of toast. I wonder if I got any toast or anything stuck in my teeth. That's a good way to start a show. That's a good way to turn off people. To ask about whether or not I got toast stuck in my teeth. Welcome. Come to the internet and hear me talk about toast stuck in my teeth. Amazing, right? Yes. First to the chat today, Jake D663. What is up? Hopefully his phone service will let him catch this live today. I hope so too. I hope it comes through. It does upload as a video later, so if you do get, I don't know, if you get stuck doing something else or whatever, you can always go back and watch the replays over and over and over again, if you feel like that's something that you want to do. Nobody has said anything that the audio is weird, so I'm assuming that I set it back to the correct settings. Let me know. I think it's correct. I don't know. Might only be coming through one speaker at this point, but you know, I gotta check in with y'all. And let you know. Hey, if you're only hearing me in one ear, man, let me know. What was the thing I wanted to talk about in the beginning? You all remember that snowpocalypse happened recently. It was snowing like crazy. It did all this and that and the other thing. And I'll tell you, it felt like it was freezing again last night. Today, 70 degrees and sunny. Welcome to the wild world of living in Western Washington, where, you know, the weather is just 100% crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, it's sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky. 70 degrees out here. Woo! Breaking records left and right. Well, the meteorologists are losing their minds this year. I hope they're having a good time with this weather. It means they get to be on. The TV a lot, which is fine. I'm just checking my eyebrows here for aphids. Stephen Pope, thanks, brother. Got to give myself the aphid check. Make sure I got no aphids in these big old caterpillars growing up here on my face. So it's always good to check the brows, make sure you're good, aphid free. That's always good. Alyssa says, I really appreciate that. I was thinking, man, I wonder how the meeting went, and now we get to get a show about it. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I'll probably be changing the title of this once it uploads, because I wanted to stick on a bit of the topic that I probably did a terrible job at the presentation. I don't know. I talked for a long time, and I realized I'm a rambling mess of nonsense, and should probably bring more notes in the future. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it goes sometimes. I did mention to everybody there that I had all these pictures that I wanted to show, and the drive that those exist on seems to be 100% formatted. So that didn't work out very well, and I ended up uploading the Aquarium Relax video so we could play that in the background, and we could, so that people could check that out and just be like, yeah, here's some of the stuff that I work on, and it not be too distracting and whatnot. Of course, I uploaded it to YouTube so the regular people could watch it if you like. It's not... it's just a chill video, like just a chill video of, fish tank foliage and stuff. So maybe it's like, maybe I should have titled it like ASMR or something like that, like fish tank meditation. Just be quiet and look at some green plants. Oh, you know what I mean. Yeah, so I posted that up, and that is the video that we had playing at the presentation. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about in regards to sort of the roundabout way I got to the topic at hand at the Fish Club meeting there at the Willamette Valley, which shout out to everybody there. It was awesome. I had a great time. I took AquaPro's mic. We tag teamed and went on down there. We went to the shrimp meeting, which was awesome. Eric Lucas was there. He brought a bunch of cool shrimp. I think he was selling. Brought a bunch of booses, some Busa Philandra and whatnot. If you don't know who Eric Lucas is, you could look up bipetshrimp.com. That's his spot. That's where he's at. You could check him out. He's got a bunch of cool stuff on there. And I am maybe considering doing a shrimp order at some point in time soon. I'm not associated with Eric or anything like that. I just think he's a cool guy, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff for the hobby. So mad props to that guy. And it was fun to hang out with him for a little bit. He had to drive quite a bit, just like I did. So kind of meet in the middle, which was good. And I seriously want to be mentioning all of the people that were there. And I don't want to make anybody feel bad if I forget your names and stuff like that. There was actually a really big turnout. It seemed like there was about 60, 80 people, something like that, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good turnout. I'm not sure. I didn't count heads, but it seemed like there was a lot of people, And then, so during that presentation, one of the big things that I was trying to hit on in a kind of weird roundabout way is... are you testing your water? That's essentially what it comes down to. And I have noticed in a lot of the travels and things that I have been able to do, like going to Germany and Austria and Budapest, which is in Hungary, going to a lot of those countries out in Europe, most of the people out there aren't using chemicals to treat their tanks at all. So there's no... all the big time wholesalers and all those kinds of spots, like they're not using a ton of chemicals to treat anything. There isn't a go-to bottle for, to take care of those systems. Most of those giant systems that are there are essentially propagating running healthy water systems for the fish, feeding good food and that kind of stuff. And one of the big things about that is that, treating fish in Europe is considered the same thing as like how you treat livestock, how you treat your dog, how you treat all animals. Everything just falls under that umbrella of if you're mistreating them, it's essentially a crime, and I don't even mean to say essentially a crime. Like, it is a crime. I think it starts out as a misdemeanor or something like that, similar to what we have here, but it escalates very quickly. And, if you're somebody in, Germany, for instance, if you're selling unhealthy fish, you will get in trouble. Like, you will literally get in trouble. It's not even, it's not that it's like looked down on by customers like it is in the U.S. That's basically the best thing we could hope for in the U.S. is that the customers would look down on a store or a wholesaler that's selling unhealthy, sick fish, stuff like that. It's, I don't know if it's necessarily like a police issue. Like, I don't know who enforces it. I don't know anything about that, but it is against the law. It's a crime. So, you know, when you are over in Europe, you'll notice that there's not a lot of Band-Aid type fixes. And also, medications are pretty heavily regulated. Like, it's not something that you just go to a store and buy. You know what I mean? So, you know, there are some medications that you can use, but they're like, I think essentially if they find anything that could be toxic to a person or whatever, like you can't use it. Like they're just like, nope, we got to figure something else out here. You know, so there isn't just like ICX and those kinds of things, which I do find those to be pretty helpful. You know, Melafix, Pimafix, like I think Melafix is a derivative of like tea tree oil. I you know, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure what that is. That one's kind of natural, but you know, they don't have to treat as much over there because the wholesalers are handling, you know, when something gets imported, they're like bringing the health level back up before it even goes out, because there is that barrier of, you know, you like lose your business license if you were just sending, you know, if you were just sending sick fish, like, oh, I'm just sending them to the store will figure it out, you know, and then the store has them, and then the store's like, well, the customer will figure it out. Like it doesn't get, just kind of, the responsibility doesn't get brushed off, if that is kind of a good way to put it. Whereas in the U.S., it almost is always falling onto the customer of like, well, you bought this thing, now what are you going to do? So it's, you know, it's a little bit of a different methodology over there, but you also see that a lot of the science behind what's going on isn't ignored as possible, or ignored as much, I would say, stateside. Now, obviously, I'm generalizing, and some people might get a little bit upset, but I do notice that a lot in the U.S. that, you know, I get a ton of emails that are like, hey, what's up with my, you know, it's like, is my filter working? It's like, I don't know. I don't know if your filter is working. And I have this old video. That basically I was upset with CChem because they're, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but CChem Matrix is washed pumice in a bucket. And I believe, in my opinion, it is very much overpriced for what it is. You know, you have a natural product that's basically being washed and stuck in a bucket, and, you know, their big explanation is it's not, you know, even when they got a direct, even on their own page here, even on their own CChem support forum page, their responses are like, you know, and I'm quoting here, this isn't the first time we've been asked this question. The short answer is, you know what you are getting with Matrix. It has been tested and proven to work as well as a biomedia. We've tried to find a better biomedia and so far have been unable to. With garden center pumice, you have no guarantee about whether or not it will support denitrifying bacteria or whether or not it will affect pH or leach anything into the tank. Now, that's from their own post in a response to somebody asking them a question of whether or not it is pumice, right? So they just continue to skirt answering the question. The post is much longer, but like if we go all the way down here to the bottom, where they basically posted this thing on their own page, that they go through and just completely sidestep even answering the question. And then all they do is answer things, and here's a quote from their page here. With pumice from the garden center, you don't have any information on how well it will perform in this aspect. We are always looking to improve our products, but so far we've been unable to find or develop a biomedia that works better than Matrix, right? So what kind of answer is that? It's like, oh, we've been unable to develop something better than the thing that we sell. What does that mean? I mean, if I make food that is disgusting, right, And then the customer comes and says it's disgusting, and my explanation is, well, I've been unable to make food that would be more delicious than the food that you ate. Right? Like, what is that? You know, when this could just be the most simple explanation that, like, yeah, we have really cool pumice, we clean it off, and it works pretty good. And yeah, it is pumice. It's a cool type of pumice. But they go into this long diatribe to just skirt around the question, right? And then somebody on their own forum pages here asks, after that, also, is all of the stone in Matrix the same? I've also read some people saying there seems to be different types of different colored stones media in the container, or / media in the container. Thanks again for your time. So their response is, it is good to rinse it before adding it to the filter, as there can be some dust on it. Most of the stones will be the same, but as it is a natural material, there is some variation, and there might be some stones that are different. This won't negatively affect the way the product works. Okay, so, like, there's an explanation right there from a giant company that has all of the money in the world to do full-on testing, produce stuff, give people the science behind it, and their explanation is, well, yeah, it's a natural thing, but that won't affect anything that's going on. After they previously posted that if you were to go buy something else, it would be bad for your aquarium, right? If you were to go somewhere else, because you have no guarantee whether it'll be good or not. Oh, but don't worry about ours because we have other stuff in there, but don't worry, it won't be bad for your aquarium, right? Even though they say it's a natural occurring product, there might be some other stuff in there, right? Like, and I feel like you would not see this in the European market because there has to be some kind of responsibility here. Now, do I think Seachem is a bad company? No. As a matter of fact, I bought some of their Aqua Vitro planting tongs while I was in Oregon. I bought some of their tongs. I don't think the Seachem's a bad company. I think a big part of it is sort of just the attitude of how business gets done in the United States, right? Like, let's just skirt the responsibility. Like, oh, hey, well, hey, it's all good. See you later, right? I don't think they're a bad company, and I don't think all of their products are bad. But this is a perfect example. Like, I don't think you would see this explanation in Europe. And I think in the U.S., as customers, we're the same way as how this explanation is, right? It's like, we go, how do I get rid of hair algae in my aquarium? And they want they want like a quick response of like, get this and put it in there and then you'll be fine forever. And part of what I tried to explain while I was down at the Willamette Valley Aquarium Society, which was awesome. I loved it. It was so cool. It's at the Garden Club, man. And if I lived in Eugene, Oregon, I'd be hanging out down at the Garden Club. You could probably pretty readily find me hanging out at the Garden Club. That place was cool. That place was super cool. But to explain a little bit further along, I get a lot of questions like this. I get a lot of emails and a lot of things posted where I put stuff, where I put things out on the internet, and it's always a one answer. It's that really short question. How do I get rid of it? And I think the expectation is like, here's a Band-Aid. You're fine. Get out of here. And if I really start to delve in with a lot of people, right? I forget who. Somebody had asked a question earlier, but that I go, okay, what are your water parameters like? You're like, well, my pH is high, or my pH is low. It's fine, And it's like, okay, well, what has your system been doing? Like, are you actively testing to kind of know what's going on? And normally, as I forget who I was talking to about this a while ago, but almost always you end up kind of with a follow-up that's like, yeah, I do 50% water changes every week. And it's like, oh, every week, just forever, you've been doing really big water changes on this? Okay, well, what's your tap water like that's coming in? Oh, it's good. Okay. And part of what I was talking about while at that fish club was I think we as Americans need to start getting more responsible with the systems that we're doing, and me included. I include myself in this. This is a self-critique that I'm not testing enough, and I'm not accumulating enough information on my systems currently. And the big reason why I can have that self-critique for myself is that I'm looking through old paperwork and stuff like that. I was testing on a regular basis, and I was writing it down, and obviously like doing that kind of stuff is a big pain, like writing it down and tracking it and that kind of stuff. And one of the things I brought up while I was down there is get yourself a small whiteboard. I've got one on the other side of that door, which I can't really hold it up. But a dry erase whiteboard, those things cost like $8 or something, and they come with pens. I think you can just get one off of Amazon, and the postman will drop it off. Like, you don't even have to go anywhere to get it. And post that up underneath your tank, and when you go to do your testing, right, you can write it on there, and then just pick up your cell phone and take a picture of it. So then you'll have the date and all that stuff like embedded into the picture, right? So you'll know what day you took that. Like, you won't have to like have all these crazy notebooks or anything like that. And now there are some really cool programs that can scan the picture that you took and turn it into a text file. So that might be pretty cool. Like, I think maybe, there might be like a share free version of that too. So that you could probably just keep them all in a text file, and then, maybe if you know somebody who's super savvy, maybe they'll put them in an Excel spreadsheet for you. You know what I mean? Right? Maybe something crazy like that. But I just think that, like, as Americans, like, we really, really, really need to start stepping it up as far as the science goes and stuff like that, right? It just really is. And I think it's going to be really important, like, moving forward. It's 2019, and I know people are super busy, and I know that the pace that we're living in is intense. It is an intense pace of, I got to drive over here. I got to go do that. I got to go to work. Oh, now my boss is emailing me while I'm at home. I got, Facebook alerts. Oh, what's going on over here? What's going on over there? And all that kind of stuff. And I feel like fish tanks are a big part of the meditative practice to be able to calm down from all of that stuff, right? And I think this is the thought in my head, I don't think it's a detriment to anybody to start doing tests and spending an extra 10 minutes a week in their fish room, or your living room with the fish tank, or your garage where the fish tank. I don't know where your fish tanks are, guys, but if you start spending an extra 10 minutes with your fish tank, I don't think that that's a bad deal. I don't think that's a bad deal. I think that's a good deal. I think that's a beneficial deal for anybody that's involved in fish tanks and stuff. Like, I'm going to spend an extra 10, 15 minutes writing this stuff down. Swift Aquarium says, Google Sheets is my go-to. Super easy tracking and accessible via my phone. You can even enter the data via a form. I bet there's a way to do it, even talk to text. Even if you didn't want to write it down, you probably could just open up a thing and be like, oh, my pH today is 7.2. Okay. And then start to be able to track it over time and start to find out what's going on and like what actually is happening in the ecosystem that you have going. And it really will help down the line if something does go wrong. You know what I mean? Like, if something goes wrong and you're like, oh my God, my tank has been ick-free forever, but something, all of a sudden my fish have ick, right? And you'd be like, okay, well, hold on, let me check. Let me see what's going on. And it's like, oh man, my pH has gone like through the roof, like, or something, you know what I'm saying? Like something that could help out with that stuff, that could help out with diagnosing there was a change, something changed, it changed this way,
okay, now we actually like kind of have an idea to go down. Like maybe somebody down at the water plant flipped a switch, and all of a sudden you did a water change, and the amount of ammonia in there doesn't trigger the system to tell anybody because it's safe for humans. Maybe the chloramine suddenly, like, maybe they had to, recently I got a notification from Tacoma that they're going to be flushing chloramine through some of the pipes out here because they have to do that as part of the process to maintain the plumbing system out here. And, it's one thing for me to get upset about that, but I'm like, oh, hundreds of thousands of people need good drinking water, right? Like, that would be totally vain of me to be upset that they're going to be dumping chloramine when it's to help the people, right? So, it was, and that's something that's been on my mind a lot, is just like, okay, what is going on in the U.S. that's so different? And one of the things that I went back to is that when I was in Las Vegas last year, so this is like almost 7 months ago, right? We shot a video with Oliver Knott, with Chris Lukup, and Corey from Aquarium Co-op, and myself. All four of us in the same room. We shot a video, and one of the biggest things was America is way behind Europe and Asia. Now, I have yet to be able to go to China or anything or any of that stuff, but I can verify from seeing the stuff in Europe, we are way behind in America. If you're in America and you're watching this stream right now and you're throwing your papers up in the air and you're super mad and you're going to flip a table or whatever, I think you should. I think you should flip a table because we are way behind, and I think we should catch up. We have the time, we have the opportunity, we have the availability right now. The dollar is super strong, products are super cheap. Like I said, I bought Seachem's tongs, new planting. They have some new aquascaping stuff that they've released, which under the Aqua Vitro line, they looked really nice. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I looked at some of the ADA stuff, the tools, and I was like, I want those bad. But I'll tell you this much. I'm not paying $150 for a pair of scissors. I'm not doing that. That is no way. I seriously looked at those scissors, and I was like, they're the curved handle scissors you see aquascaping all the time. Not even the fancy swooshy ones. And I was like, oh man, those are really nice, man. Those are great. I was thinking $20, maybe $30. $150 for a pair of aquascaping scissors is insane. There's no way I'll ever pay that. The Aqua Vitro, I got those planting tongs, and I was like, hey, these are really nice. They feel like not a Lamborghini, but they feel like a Lexus or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's got a little leather in here. Oh, it's got a seat warmer, but it doesn't have the AC seat. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have like the air conditioning butt thing. It just has the butt warmer when it's cold out, right? And I was like, oh, $11.25. Totally reasonable. I know that there are more budget ones that you could get a whole set for like $15, which is fine. But I was like, you know what? I want to try out these like better quality, just like the next tier up. There's no way I'm paying $150 for a pair of scissors. Even if I'm doing surgery on humans, I don't even think I would pay that much for a pair of scissors. It's just a little bit crazy. Caroline Epler's asking, where in Eugene were you? I grew up there. I was in Eugene. The garden club is on, it has a really interesting name, like is it High Street or something like that? Hold on, let me look this up. Eugene, what was it called? Garden Club. I hate this keyboard. The Eugene Garden Club is on High Street. Oh! Who's a winner chicken dinner? I think they have a bunch of cool events there. Eugene Garden Club. Yeah, 1645 High Street, Eugene, Oregon. Then I have a store tour that we did down there. I didn't really do too much as far as like covering the meeting. I always feel kind of I always kind of feel weird about doing a video like that because it really, I don't like go get everyone's permission, so I'll probably just have some quick shots of like what it looks like in there. It was pretty cool. It was really cool though, and I look forward to going down there a couple months from now and seeing what's going on a couple months from now. I'm excited to go back. I'm excited to go back. I really hope that I spent a lot of time with Aqua Pros. You guys know Mike's my boy. He lives down there in the town of Oregon. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the town of Oregon. I mean the state. I don't know why I'm saying the town. It's just going to confuse people. You're going to be like, Oregon's not a town. But he does live down in Oregon, actually, and a couple hours from Eugene. So went there. I shot a little video at the Aqua Pros place, though. So I'll have that coming out for you guys in, I don't know, probably 5 days or something like that. It'll take time to edit that all up. But, I got some videos from down there and stuff like that. I do hope to go back for sure. It's going to be, I look forward to seeing how cool that place gets. Somebody tagged me in a comment. Oh, here we go. David Gilkison's asking, can we talk sumps for a few minutes? I'm planning a 120-gallon high-tech planted with a sump. Can you give me an update on your Trigger Sapphire sump and anything you do differently on the Aquarium Co-op 800-gallon sump with the vertical filter pads? I wouldn't do anything different with the sump that I did at the Aquarium Co-op because that's Corey's sump. You know what I'm saying? I don't just make changes to other people's systems, but he did the under gravel filter in there, which I think is just a never-ending debate on whether or not that was good or not. But I think the system is running pretty healthy. But the vertical pads just is the way to go. That's how mine all run. So, and I really like the trigger systems. I really, really, really like the trigger system sumps. They are really nice. I think at some point in the future, I'm gonna try and do a flat pack sump kit. Right? Does that make sense? I won't be building the tank, but I think what I'm gonna do is try to design the baffles, right? That would go in like a 20 long and a 40 breeder, right? And then I think if it was anything bigger than that, I think people would need to, they would need to like email and like special order or something. I don't know, but I think that's what that might be a thing coming down the pipe. I don't know. I don't know though. I'm considering it. But I realistically think if I had a recommendation, I would go with the trigger system sump. I like them. I have 3 of them now, and I'm pretty happy with those. They did pretty well. Kathy says I was in downtown Eugene, 17th and High Street. Okay, yeah. Is that downtown? I don't, it feels kind of suburbia in there, so it doesn't feel like downtown. But I do recall Mike telling me that we were downtown, and there did seem to be a lot of, like, breweries and restaurants, like, around the corner. But that's what I was talking about, is that I did go to a store, so there will be a little bit of a store tour. I highly recommend going to that store if you're in, like, any kind of throwing distance. Like, if you're 100 miles radius from Aqua Serene, which is in Eugene, Oregon, I highly recommend going there. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that store. I wouldn't, is it the best store I've ever been to in my entire life? That's debatable because I was at a camera store once that blew my mind. Is it the best fish tank store I've ever been to? I don't know. That's just like an opinion thing. But it was the best fish store I've been to last weekend. And I'll tell you this much. I bought a bunch of wood. I bought some ADA Amazonia, and I bought those tweezers that I mentioned earlier while I was there. So I literally bought some stuff because I was just like, man, look at this giant piece of driftwood, which I'm super excited to do something with. And I'm also like, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? I'm very excited. That's what it is. So as I mentioned, I got some substrate. I got one bag of the Amazonia. That's all they had of the ADA substrate left. The regular Amazonia, the original, the OG, the original gangster Amazonia is going to be discontinued for a long period of time. And the big reason for that is that they're unable to harvest. So what they used to do is they would buy out rice paddies where they would do rice farming, and they would excavate them and use that years and years of rice paddy silt to make that substrate. And I think somebody in Japan got wise to that's what they were doing. So I don't think that they're allowed to do it anymore. And I think they're trying to say, like, oh yeah, we're unable to source the material for that anymore. And it's like, that's true. But I think it's kind of a little bit of a more heart-wrenching story, I think, if you look into it. Sorry about that, guys. I had to get some more coffee. And then laugh at my coffee mug. Oh, I got the auto set on the camera. Look at that. It gets darker and lighter. Pretty cool. Ooh, Jesse DeShields says, I just built one with glass baffles and will become a patron soon to share. Ooh, nice. I like that. That is cool. That's a double whammy of cool, because shout out to the patronizers, man. Shout out to all the Patreon, the people that have supported this show on Patreon for a long. It feels like a long time, and I think we're really starting to make some headway, you guys. I think we are really starting to make some headway. You know, a while ago, when I was at the Aquatic Experience, I talked to a ton. I talked to a lot of YouTubers. The big ones, the small ones, the medium ones. I would call myself a small one. I talked to a lot of them there. And most of them were like, I don't understand, you know, why do you have so much support? And I basically have to tell them, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how I have so much support. I try hard. I try to always just be an open book and try to be as helpful as I can. I don't even think I ever really follow through on my own expectations. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I fall short constantly of what I'm trying to do. And it's always a shock to me. It's always a shock to me how many people are on Patreon. We had a brand new Patreonizer this morning. If it's confusing you what I'm talking about, Patreon is a separate web page that we basically can crowdsource and funding some of this stuff, like being able to take 2 days and drive down all the way down to Oregon, all the cost that goes into that. Obviously, it's a pretty short trip from the way that most people consider it, but you know. And who was the newest one? I got to give a shout out. And where did it go? Thomas M. Whoops. What happened? Okay, hold on. Whoa. Slight desk disaster over there. Thomas M, brand new to the Patreon. And I got to give a big shout out to everybody that has joined up and become a member too, because some people don't want to go to another website. They don't want to put anything on another website, and I get that. And YouTube has the join feature now. You can join the Oceaneers. That's what we've coined ourselves. The Patreons are Oceaneers. The join button people are Oceaneers, and I'm mad props to you guys. Aqua Bucket List over the weekend came a new member, which has pushed us. Like, I talked to I talked to a YouTuber, or I spoke to a YouTuber a little while ago that has, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they had like 10 people ever hit the join button, and I'm happy to say that we are over 60 at this point. I mean, obviously, we want to get to a triple digit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to get to a triple digit just so that if anybody ever asks, we can be like, it's 100 and whatever, But I'm not being greedy. I just trying to give you guys props. David Gilkinson says, would I prefer Patreon over YouTube? Hey, it's really a personal decision for you guys. Patreon has the upside that they do take a smaller share, but at the same time, you could go to Patreon at $1 a month. Hitting the join button just is the $5. It just is what it is. You could be somebody who's maybe doing really well out there in the world, and you're like, I want to be $100 a month, like the Fishy Mailman. He's one of our producers, gets that producer credit. Shout out to the Fishy Mailman wherever you're at. I wish you were in the Northwest right now because it is sunny out there, and I have to admit I'm a little jealous of our mail carrier today because she's just out there kind of rocking it in the sunshine. I would love that. I would love that. That would be nice. I wish I was just out hiking around in the sun today. I'm so jealous. It's just, it's awesome. So let's see. I'm going to try to check in with the chat. Let's get over to the video, man. It's been forever. I was rambling on about nonsense there. So as I've been gone for a little while, the 150 is just getting overgrown. On the upside to the 150 getting overgrown, I'm sure a lot of people out there are going to be like, oh my gosh, he's trimming Pokestemon again. Yeah, I have to. I'm sorry. It's in the way. But the upside to the 150 starting to get overgrown, that means more feature spotlight videos. So I actually have 2 plants in here I'll be able to spotlight video hopefully this week. Vicky and I paid our sitter an extra hour tonight so I can hopefully just get that extra hour of editing in and hopefully get something uploaded for tomorrow morning. So hopefully I can do like a plant spotlight tomorrow morning for you guys. This last weekend being out of town's real rough. That means that like ain't nothing in my office getting done for the 2 whole days. And honestly, the drive down there wasn't too bad. I got up at 4:45. I got up at 4:45. I was like ready by 5:30. But then I kind of, Vicky had gotten up and she was going to go back to bed. So I just kind of hung out with Vicky in the morning for a little bit. And then she went back, to bed. And then I took off about 6 o'clock. I did stop. Where did I stop? I stopped somewhere just to stretch my legs for 15 minutes or something like that. But took about 4 hours to get to Aquapro's house. So I think I was there. No, let's see. I think I got there about 10:30, 10:45. Maybe 10:15. I don't know, somewhere in there. And then, like I said, it was about 2 hours to get to, maybe an hour and a half to get to Eugene. So we did show up at instead of noon, we showed up at I don't know, I think it was 12:45 or something like that. So everybody was already there, and but that was cool. So we did the first part was the shrimp meeting, and got to eat some smoked deviled eggs that Byron and his wife brought. Those were awesome. And the macaroni salad was dope. I love macaroni salad. It's got eggs and mayonnaise and macaroni and pickles and mustard. Hey, I love that stuff. So I had a couple plates of that. So we did the shrimp meeting, which was awesome. And shout out to anybody down there that has the Purple of Flame sword. I forget who it was who had that there. And it definitely was at the shrimp meeting. And no, I did not put my name in the hat to get free stuff. That's part of how the shrimp meeting goes. Like, they basically, people will bring something to donate, and then everybody puts their name in the hat. And then they pull out names, and you get to go pick something off the table when they call your name. I didn't put my name in there because it just doesn't feel like... you know what I mean? It just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right to be like, you know what, I should get something for free. I didn't bring anything. But in retrospect, I probably should have got that purple flame sword because it was still there when they would have called my name. Right? And there were some boosters on the table, some cool shrimp, a bunch of stuff. There really was a bunch of stuff. They went round and round. And I realized I probably should have put my name in there because they did go round and round. There was a bunch of extra stuff. But I don't know. It just feels weird. With the kind of access that I have, especially with like the Aquarium Co-op, it always feels weird to be like, oh yeah, let me take a handout over here. When I have so many generous people helping to fan fund and all that kind of stuff. I just feel like I just want to go, So to me, I feel like the blessing is me being able to just go and be involved in that kind of stuff. So I feel like I like to leave the stuff for the other people. Although a couple extra plants might have been cool, but I did get the 2 plants that I wanted to go to. Thanks to Kevin. Thank you very much, Kevin. Kevin specifically brought me the plants that I wanted, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm not gonna spoil my own stuff, my own videos for later. So you guys will definitely be finding those out. And Mellow Moogle's wondering if I put my name in the Goblet of Fire. No, I did not. Didn't put my name in there because that kind of stuff. Whatever. Let's see. Oh. One of the big things that was coming up, one of the big themes that was happening on the trip is one thing I've noticed that there isn't a centralized location for like aquascaping in the US. Does anybody notice that? Has anybody noticed that? I've definitely noticed that. And that was just kind of like on my mind. It was something that I was driving down thinking about, having gone to Budapest and seen green aqua, right? So having seen green aqua in person and just realizing how much of a collaborative situation that store is. Now, I get that that's a store, but it also is like, it's like an aquarium gallery, really, it's set up like an art gallery. The tanks are all beautiful. They have different contributors coming in to aquascape and fix up the tank, and then they have the maintenance guys who are keeping everything like tip-top posh, you know what I'm saying? And there really is like a whole bunch of people are flying there to work on stuff. Like you see George Farmer flying out there. You see Yuri's flying out there. You see Volker flying out there, a bunch of Asian guys, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce their names because I'll get them completely wrong. But a bunch of guys from Asia flying out there, to go and like aquascape and kind of meet up and do all that kind of stuff. It seems like that's kind of becoming the Europe spot. And there doesn't seem to be a U.S. spot for that. I couldn't think of one. I could not think of a location. I couldn't even brainstorm like what I would consider to be a spot. Even if you think, Takahashi Amano's last place in Lisbon, right? The last big tank that he did is in Europe. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff in China that we don't know about because they won't let the internet out. But I couldn't really think of a spot in the U.S. that's like, oh man, we got to make the pilgrimage to, like, I've got to go there in person. Like, I know the Aquarium Co-op is on a lot of people's lists to definitely go there in person, and I do encourage that. But it is not that same. It's not that same vibe. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that vibe. It doesn't have a bunch of people contributing to it because it's Corey's business. It's Corey's small fish store. So more often than not, when people show up there, they're like, oh man, this is smaller than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, it's a small local fish store. That's what it is. Like, it's a local fish store operated by local people that invest a ton of time, and everything's healthy in there, and it's really well run, but it's not, oh, let's go in there and hang out and check out the tanks and stuff. And realistically, Green Aqua has done that. They've definitely put, it's a space that is comfortable to go like, oh, I'm going to spend an hour kind of being here and really kind of checking it out and kind of absorbing it. And, maybe, they do have a store attached to it. So that is their motivation of like, oh, maybe we'll sell them. And this will be their new fish store where they come into. So there's that. It's kind of going hand in hand, but I couldn't think of a location that's really doing that. And I started to think about it. Like, we're down here in Eugene, Oregon, 60, 80, 100 people. I don't know how many people were there. I wish we had we should have done a head count. I think somebody should have done a head count, because if somebody said 100 people were there, I don't know. I would have been like, yeah, probably. So maybe it was 100 people there. I don't know. But in Oregon, the middle of Oregon, which, this isn't a criticism, but it's not like downtown LA where there's millions and millions and millions of people. This is Eugene, Oregon. You know what I mean? Like, they got that small town vibe. And which I think is important. But if you think like 100 people could come out on a Saturday for that, like, which I hope it continues to grow. I hope that 100 people in a year from now, 100 people to them. I hope that 100 people to them is like, oh, 100? Man, there's like 500 people here. What up? So that thing would be pretty cool. But, It's Nature Man says Aquarium Zen seems cool for a U.S. spot, but he's never been there. To be honest with you, like, Aquarium Zen is like maybe 900 square feet. It's low ceiling, very small shop. The entrance is like around like kind of a little weird alley. I think Aquarium Zen is pretty cool. It's run by Steve Waldron. It's a cool spot. It's run and owned by Steve Waldron, who's the guy who's in charge of maintenance for the Amazon Spheres tanks, which really cool. It's a cool shop to definitely stop in. Most everything is pretty healthy there. They will have some strange things, but I've had some weird interactions with Steve. Like Vicky Toria wanted to buy a piece of driftwood from the store, and he was like, no, that's not for sale. And it's like, it's in a tank right here on the floor. He's like, nah, that one's not for sale. So then she wanted to buy a different piece of driftwood, and he was like, well, that one's not for sale either. And it's like, well, it's not like a display tank. It's not like she was trying to buy something out of a display tank from the window. It had, it was a tank with like Danios in it, that the Danios were for sale, right? So I think I have like a personal sort of like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, you lost me with bad customer service, Like, you lost me with bad customer service. I don't think he was like necessarily intentionally rude to Vicky, but if people are rude to Vicky, I'm like, I'm done with you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anybody else's attitude towards their, people's interactions with their spouses or whatever, but that's the way I feel about it. Like, if you're rude to my spouse, like, I'm out. Like, if I had gone to, let's just say Petco. If I'd gone to Petco and the people at Petco were rude to Vicky, I don't know why. I'd be like, yeah, I'm done with that place. And I don't necessarily endorse Petco, but the local store that Vicky and I have gone to down in Puyallup, which is, what are they called? It's not Puyallup. No, sorry. Hold on. I'm going to have to look this up because I can never remember their name. Aquarium Paradise. There we go. Aquarium Paradise is south of us about 10, maybe 10 miles, maybe 8 miles. What is this? I got a notification? Get out of here, notification. There we go. So Aquarium Paradise is one of the local stores that Vicky and I have gone to. And every single time, regardless of what was going on there, they were very, very nice to Vicky. Like, I don't even have an expectation that somebody's going to be 100% nice to me, right? Like, I don't have that expectation, but I have the expectation that you're nice to my spouse. Like, that's just, I don't know, call it old school or something like that, but And especially if it's like you're the person that's selling something at the store you own, right? And someone is inquiring, buying something at your store, it's kind of weird that you would do that. So I got turned off by that. He's one of the places that, you know, like I'm saying, it's just an experience that I had. Most of the other times that I've dealt with Steve, like most was pretty cool, you know, and it's a pretty cool store, but it's also not like you don't just go there and hang out. You know what I mean? Like there's no like, let me vibe this, you know, like there's no like, let me go vibe up in this space. And, you know, what's it called? What is it? Aqua Serene? Yeah, Aqua Serene was at this weekend, which was really nice. It's a big space because it has aquaponic and hydroponic stuff all off to the other side. And so it is kind of a bigger store, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool store just as far as all that stuff goes, but it's also like it's also not a spot to just like, hey, I'm just here chilling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to hang out in your store all day or whatever. Whereas Green Aqua, I definitely got that vibe. Green Aqua had that vibe of like, oh, there are some couches and stuff over here just in case, like, you just kind of want to like marinate and get some ideas and kind of figure out what's going on. Like, I'm not encouraging people to just go hang out at Green Aqua. The reason I bring it up is like, there is no spot like that in the U.S. that I can think of, right? That is like, we're focused on freshwater aquariums, and this is the thing that we do, and you can come like actually experience it, right? Like, there are a lot of people in the U.S. that would definitely fly to that spot to do some aquascaping, and there are some seriously talented aquascapers in the U.S., like, for sure, you know? Oh, man. I don't want to get his name wrong. I think it was Andrew, and if I got your name wrong, I'm very sorry in the middle of the show here. Oh, no! I think it was Andrew. I want to say it was Andrew, and I don't want to be wrong. Because if I got it wrong, I'm going to be upset. I don't know. I don't have a message from him or anything. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was Andrew who does the aquascaping at Aqua Serene, right? Like, his show tank in Aqua Serene is dope, and he probably would go do an aquascape somewhere or whatever, but like, that's just a perfect example right there that like, there's a guy just in Eugene, Oregon that's like super talented aquascaper, and like, I don't know, you know, is anybody like contacting him, getting a hold of him to try and like figure out a project or something like that? Because if, to be really honest with you, I'm going to message that guy if there comes to being a project to do, you know. I tried to contact I tried to persuade some companies. You know, when I was in Europe, I tried to persuade some companies, because every company that I talked to was like, we want to be in the U.S. market. You know, they were like all jazzed for it. Like, we want to be in the U.S. market. And a bunch of the companies that I talked to, I was like, look, if you send out the products, right, I'll scape the tanks, grow them out, and then you can give them away at the AGA, right? Like, even if you send me 10 tanks or something like that, I'll get them set up. I'll get them grown in. The AGA is close enough to my house that we could drain them down, saran wrap them, and take them up there and set them up. And you could literally have not only the foot in the door at the AGA, where you could display these tanks so people could come check out, but then you could give them away, which is a huge, like, that's a huge promo type thing. Like, oh my gosh, you get a tank that's already grown in for free, right? And they were like, yeah, that's a really good idea. And then guess what they did when they had that ball in their hand? They just dropped it right in the ground. They didn't step back over the 3-point line and drain the thing. You know what I mean? Like, they just dropped it on the ground, and the coach called a timeout, and then they all just went home. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm like, it's very interesting to me how that continues to go on. But I guess the whole reason I got onto this weird rant was because just saying thanks to the Patreonizers because, the reality is if we have some momentum and it's something that we can grow on, you guys know that I invest as much as I can right back into building this kind of stuff. And I don't know who posted it up in there. Somebody posted that I could build it, and I missed it. Where'd that go? I don't know. Somebody was saying that I could build it, and if I had the funding, I would build it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was money and or some kind of space, or even if there was just a space, like if somebody was like, "Oh, I got this 2,000 whatever square foot space, we just need to build it out," I'd be like, "Let's go, let's do it right now." I'd be like, "Let's do that right now." So there, and trust me when I say, I did spend a lot of time mulling this over. I spent 6 hours in the car yesterday, I think. 5 hours. I don't know. Long time in the car, driving back. And I spent a lot of time thinking about this. And this is moving to the top of my list. Not number one. It's going to be in the top 10 or whatever. I mean, instead of it being this pipe dream idea, right? Instead of it being like, oh yeah, maybe in the magical future that doesn't exist, I could maybe do that. I'm bumping that up into the top 10 or something. I don't know what's going on. I do feel like riding a wave of positivity with my beautiful daughter, my beautiful spouse. Things are going well, and it's like, what's the next step? You know what I mean? Like instead of just going like, what's this next little baby step to the next thing? It's like, how do I build the staircase of steps in my head to go in like, let's get to the top of the stairs, right? And if you don't know what even an idea of what the top of the stairs is, what are you doing? You're just like, climbing a ladder so you can hang out on a roof somewhere. And this is all metaphor, right? We all get that. So I think that's kind of going to be part of what I'm gunning for. Whether a business gets involved or, how is it that, can I lease some kind of space somewhere that's super cheap? You know what I mean? Like there is a lot of BFE Washington. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of areas in Washington that are just like, yeah, ain't nobody really living here. But it's like, is it close to the freeway? Is it too far away? I don't know. But I feel like Eugene's not exactly close to a lot of things. It's like an hour and a half drive from Portland. So I feel like if there's people coming out to Eugene, there could easily be people coming out to Kelso, Washington, right? Which is like an hour from Portland. Because that almost could just be the thing, like get your flight into Portland and get picked up at the airport and drive 45 minutes out or an hour out or something like that. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. Really thinking about it, I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's just, I think that it's 2019. And I think it's something that should be a little bit in our minds of going like, wait a minute, that's something that could be done. You know what I mean? And then it's like once a month, have a fun thing, or once every 3 months. You know what I mean? Kathy says around to the left of Aqua Serene is great coffee. I have to tell you, I'm super upset I didn't get to have that coffee because I could smell it. I saw the coffee craftsman going back and forth. He was like doing stuff, and I was super stoked to go in there and get coffee, and like Mike and I were goofing around in Aqua Serene, and the next thing you know, it was like, oh no, we got to get to the meeting. So we had to go to the evening meeting, and it was a little bit crazy. It was like, oh my god, we got to get over there quick. We got to get over there super quick. But I don't know. I wonder if like my thought process is either too lofty or too stupid, or maybe there's just not. I mean, maybe there's no desire for that. But I feel like it's something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I would even call it like a public place with air quotes. But is it a spot that's like open to the public once a month or something like that? Or once every 3 months there's like an event there, or I don't know. I don't know how you would schedule that or anything like that, but I mean, the way I look at it is like if there was like 5 YouTubers, is it that 5 YouTubers studio? You go out there, you can shoot your videos, you do your aquascaping, you do collaborative videos, you do all that kind of stuff. Like, I think I just don't see why that doesn't happen more often. And I think part of it, like the YouTube tie-in, is that you start to think of like Peter McKinnon and Maddie Haptoja, and they got like 3 other people in their crew or something like that. And those guys often like pretty much work out of the same office space, I think. I think Maddie and then one other guy and Peter McKinnon all work out of the same office. And I think you start to see like not only is the collaborative effort to help each other out a big deal, but like, you have somebody to like do stuff with instead of just being like, oh, I'm just here by myself freaking out. Got to check in with the mods here. French Toast says, make it a certain mark for the month on the Patreon goal to get the skate place going. Now that is a great idea. That is a great idea, and I think there's no reason to make that change. I think I'm going to make that change. That's great. Yeah. That is a good idea. I'm going to put that onto the Patreon. I like that. That is a fantastic idea, and super credit to French Toast, whom I will let him know who you are if you feel like you want to be known who that was. But that is a fantastic idea. Big shout out to one of our mods there. I like that. That is a good idea. David had to go. Byron is here. What's up? Oh, he says, yes, it's Andrew. Yes, okay. It's Andrew, man. I am somebody who's just, I'm not the best with remembering people's names. I meet a lot of people. I get a lot of messages. I get a lot of information coming at my face on a regular basis. And I think that's part of it. I think that's a big part of it, is that I'm just like, what? Sometimes I forget Vicky's name. And she like lives here, I think. I don't know, not 100%. Alana Suki says, just need to win a big lottery and then buy like a triple storefront, game store, meeting room, gaming tables, fish store. You know what? Here's the weird thing is that like I have gone to some towns where it might be a feasible thing. Like the number that was put in for the Patreon here was $5,000 a month. I mean, we're at $1,300 a month. I don't know if 5,000 is the right number. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I'm gonna have to do some math on like, let's say we found a space that was 2,000 square feet, right? And mixed use commercial is typically $1.50 a square foot, something like that. So we got to think like $3,000 a month for rent. Unless my math is completely off. Yeah, because 2,000 is $1 a square foot. If it's 2,000 square feet, plus the other half, $3,000 a month. But I don't think it would be crazy to find a place that is $3,000 a month. Like, of all the commercial spaces I've looked for over the years, if you're, I mean, obviously this wouldn't be in like downtown Seattle. Are you crazy? Like, whoa. I mean, maybe it would be somewhere in Tacoma. Like, I bet in the outskirts of Tacoma, I could probably find some kind of commercial space that was like $3,000 a month. I think that's in the realm of possibility. Like, I don't think that's that far off. I'm gonna have to do some more research and like kind of look around and see exactly what's going on. But I have a business license and a track record and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure I would just have to renew my bond, I think. But that's not a big deal. That's just a phone call. Phone call and the old swipe of the old credit card, right? But I don't think that that's like that far out of the realm of possibility. And you also think like maybe there would be like 3 other people that wanted to go in, like Green Aqua. Like, one of the reasons that Green Aqua is so awesome, they have 3 owners. There's 3 owners that are collaborating there to be able to kind of just make everything happen, right? Like, maybe there isn't a strong suit for somebody, for like one of the guys, and it's like, oh, the other guy, that's his real strong suit. Like, he can do all the web design and all that kind of crazy stuff, and or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know. But like, there's 3 owners at Green Aqua, so I think that's the big difference, is that like you have 3 people like really contributing to that situation. And I think that's one of the big things too, is that like they already have that collaborative vibe. They have that collaborative vibe. You know what I mean? So I think they're already in that, like, yeah, let's do this. And I think it just makes it that much easier for them to just like continue going forward, because it's like they don't necessarily like are requiring each other to always, or requiring themselves to make their own decision. It's sort of like, let's get the 3 amigos together here and figure out exactly what they're doing. But I don't think it would be that big of a deal to put everything together. Byron says, glad you like the eggs. His girlfriend, Renee, makes great pasta salad. She made great food. You guys did a great job with the spread. I don't know who else brought food. I think I was going to say Melissa, but that's not right. That's not the right name. Erica, maybe? Erica brought some... maybe it was Erica? I don't know. Oh, we just got a post from Andrew on Facebook. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. Oh, his home tanks are dope. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the rocks that he's got. It's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, it is Andrew, but I think Erica made cupcakes. I'm not sure. Those were great too. Great food, great spread of food. I have mad props on that. And you guys had water. Almost every place that I go to, everyone forgets bottled water. And for some reason, I think people don't think it's important. They're just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, we don't really need that water. It's not that big of a deal. Whatever. We're just not going to do that anymore. That is important for any meeting of any kind. I don't even care what kind of meeting it is. Bottled water, ice. Yeah, you got to have that for sure. Big D Smoke says, great stream Friday, by the way, at Swift. Yes, hopefully we get Swift back. I haven't been bugging Jay on the old text machine over here, which I'm probably going to fairly soon. I'm going to be rocking that and see if maybe he wants to come back. When is he coming back? He's not coming back on Wednesday, because Wednesday we've got Alyssa Bentley is here on Wednesday. Alyssa will be our guest on Wednesday. So if you have a question for Alyssa, post it in the comments, not in the chat. Post it in the comments below, because Alyssa will be here, and we can go through the Alyssa Bentley questions. And no, she's not related to Bentley, although there has been some confusion. It's a first name, last name situation. You know what I mean. Big D says, it's not my card. Patreon keeps saying enter valid expiration year, but I did. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully it works. Um, 70 Charger Dream says, hello, is this a Q&A? This is kind of a basic question. So my boys have a 10-gallon, which is well cycled, with 10 Zebra Daniel Glowfish. We are going to put in a 24-gallon nano tank. Oh, the question is down here. Okay, if I move the water over with all the ornaments and gravel and even use the filter media in the new filter area, how long before you think it is safe to put the fish in the 24-gallon tank? Just move everything over quickly as long as you keep the filter from the old tank. Keep the biomedia and the filter pad and stuff. Whatever filter it is, keep it intact and wet. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a hang-on back filter, keep it full of water. So keep all that, everything, fully submerged. And it should be fine. It should be good to go right away. It probably will go through a little hiccup of a cycle and stuff like that, but the already mature bacteria from the other tank will populate the new tank pretty rapidly. Rogue Aquariums is here with a brand new avatar. Look at that. Dig it. I like that. Ooh, I like that avatar. That's pretty good. We got a $5 super chat from the Fish Tank Barn. Says, for the tip jar, picked up a new dad van today. You know what? I saw that, Mike. Mike is the owner-operator of the Fish Tank Barn, and super dad van style definitely has come out and helped us out, driving me around personally a bunch of times out at the conventions and stuff, and I appreciate it. Mainly because Mike's an awesome dude. I mean, I like your dad van status and everything, but I'd probably just hang out with you if you didn't have a dad van. And realistically, I'm super jealous of your dad van. And I was going to post some kind of GIF on there on your Facebook, post, but I couldn't find anything that made sense. I don't know. There just weren't any that made sense that expressed my feelings, so I didn't, Jessica Thiegartner with a $2 super chat and says, come back to Oregon Fund. I will be coming back to Oregon. It did take a couple of days to do that, and a couple tanks of gas and stuff like that, but it's pretty affordable to make that trip. I think in the future I'm going to try and schedule a sitter to help Vicky get a break, to get a little bit of a break, because it is pretty hard when she's here all by herself. I didn't like that very much. So I think the next time I go out of town, I'm going to try and have somebody come over and at least give her a break, Randy Hightower says, my girlfriend had some plants that appear to be converting from the top of the stems up. Will they need to be trimmed, or will the lower half of the stem fill out with new leaves? Typically, the undercarriage of a plant won't grow new leaves once it's already kind of grown there. Almost all new growth comes from the top of the plant. But I would just let it convert as it grows up. So like this pogostemon right here would be a good, this erectus. Let's pause this for a second. Pause video. Ooh, look at that purling. Let's see. What do we got here? Where's the arrow? Nope, that's not it. Nope. There it is. Arrow number 1. So let's say this is the new plant you're talking about, and like from here down is that old growth. Let's say we get right here up to the top is the new growth, right? Trim that, take that top part, plant it down into the substrate, it'll root and start to grow again. Then you'll get just a whole entire plant that is fully immersed. And that goes with most stem plants, like these jobbers here, those jobbers there, over here, over there, everywhere. It's a pretty common practice that works out quite well. And I will admit, I will give the creditation where creditation is due. Tom Barr is the guy many years ago that got on me about not doing that. And that is the best way to do it. He was right. I was lazy. He was right, and I was lazy. This is many years ago before I got sober. Speaking of getting sober, got a super chat from my friend, your friend, everyone's friend, Mr. Rumbust, Swedish Crones, 1770. And if y'all been keeping track, I've been sober 1,770 days as of today, the 18th of March, 2019. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. It's so mucho. Yeah. All right. We got ourselves 4:21 in the PM of the afternoon. We're coming up on the end of the show because I got to go. And as I appreciate everyone's comments here, pretty good. They don't seem to be like, man, you got to answer this question. It just seems like you guys kind of got to that point where you just started chatting with each other, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. That is great. I greatly appreciate that kind of stuff. But, we'll just have to see you guys on the other side. I think I probably going to piss off a lot of people with this stream. A bunch of people are going to tune in later, and they're going to be like, this guy's a jerk for talking about C-Chem. So mad. Ooh, what did we get? I wonder how many thumbs downs we got. You know, I used to try and see if you guys would share a video out, but that's just not my priority anymore. I just like you guys to hit the thumbs up. Let them know. Yeah, we're only at 51. Look at that. We're only at 51. Will that focus? Probably not. We're only at 51 likes. What was our top today? I think our top today was 133. 133 people watching and only 51 people hit the like button. You know what I mean? Swift, what's up, man? He says hi. Hi. We're in Inception here. Hopefully we'll be seeing Swift on Friday. We'll be having Alyssa here on Wednesday. Had turquoise rainbows with cherries for a while. Didn't seem to put a dent in the population. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, cherry shrimp are pretty resilient. They breed pretty quickly, and it's hard to tell if they're being eaten or not because they breed pretty prolifically, and they have a tendency to do that because they are food in the wild. So I think it's fine. Oh, by the way, don't forget to go over to Aquarium Co-op for all of your aquarium needs. Like I said earlier last week, I ordered some plants from a different website because it's stuff that Corey at Aquarium Co-op doesn't carry. So I'm looking for some specific stuff, and hopefully they come through. But so far, the customer service hasn't been great either. So, you know how it is. When the customer service isn't great, I'm not in. I sign out. I get out of there. Okay, so there's yes, check out Aquarium Co-op if you want to get cool Fluval lights like I use, Easy Green like I use. What's the word? Some of the filter stuff I use is from there. The CO2 system I use is from there. So I use a bunch of stuff from Aquarium Co-op. They're not the producers of it. They are the retailers of it. So if you are in the United States, you're probably going to get the lowest price. You're definitely going to get the best customer service. You get it shipped straight to your door pretty darn fast. And so check that out. Also, big shout out to Richard. Thank you very much for the turkey eggs. Hopefully you're still here. I forgot to mention that earlier, so I'll probably mention it on Wednesday's show and eat a whole bunch of turkey eggs pretty soon here. And let's see. Ooh, right here down at the end, Broet Surge. says, is there any good racks for 40 breeder on Amazon? First time I caught the show. I'm not an expert in racks because I build my own stands and stuff. I think Corey has a video about that that has those racks that he used. We used those racks in his warehouse. It's up to you. I prefer to encourage people to build their own stands because it's a really good way to build something for your aquarium. You know, building an aquarium out of acrylic is crazy hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, and I'm not saying it's something that you can't do, but building a really nice acrylic aquarium is pretty difficult. But building a stand is something that I think it's a super handy craftsman kind of deal that people could learn to do. A $5 super chat from Millie Gandalf right here at the end. All right, thank you. All right. I got to go. I got to get back to work and try and get some video edited for you guys and try to go lift some weights because I haven't been working out very much. I got to work out and shoot some more video and do some more maintenance in the old fish room. So have a good Monday out there, everybody. I'll talk to you on the other side after I find the button that CJ Blackhead. Is that time for the requisite? Leave.